2B. In 2A means medium risk, 2B means little high risk, but 3 is always highest risk. So please remember when you are going for the interview, if somebody asks how the medical devices are classified in Europe as compared to US. So these are the classifications. Then there is a common question coming to our mind. What is the CE marking all about? You might have seen all, even if you have seen your mobile phone is CE mark or lots of equipment. If you go to dentist, you see all the items, all the equipments used for our dental surgery or anything. It is CE mark. Then you see the catheters, the stent, the implants which are coming from Europe. All those items, all those medical devices has CE mark. So CE mark is a popular word, but you should understand what is it exactly. So CE mark is nothing but it is a European conformity. Okay. So in French, it is called conformity européenne, which literally means European conformity. So try to understand what is the CE mark because it is very important aspect when you want to enter into Europe. The term initially used was EC mark because of what? European conformity. And it was officially replaced by CE marking in the directives 93 by 68 by EEC in 1993. Okay. Then CE mark is now used in all official documents. So CE marking on a product is a manufacturer's declaration that the product complies with the essential requirements of the relevant European health, safety and environmental protection legislation in practice by many of the so-called product directives. So I have told this during your European regulatory system lectures as well. So Europe always follows what? Directives, and US always follows those 21 CFR parts. So you have to remember what is the difference between US and Europe. So there it is used CFR parts, here it is used directives. So in C, they use 93 by 68 EEC directives in which it should comply with the essential requirements of the relevant European health, safety and environmental protection legislation. Then product directives contains the essential requirements and or performance levels and harmonized standards to which the products must conform. Harmonized standards are the technical specifications, that is European standard on harmonization documents, which are established by the several European standard agencies. So there are a couple of agencies existing in Europe, that is CEN, CEN, etc. So CEN stands for European Committee for Standardization, whereas CENELEC stands for European Committee for Electrochemical Standardization. So what is CE mark? CE marking on a product indicates to governmental official that the product may be legally placed on the market in their country. CE marking on a product ensures the free movement of the product within the IFTA and European Union. IFTA is European Federal Trade Union and European Union single market. So out of total, that is 28 to 30 countries, you can sell your product in any of these countries, that is whole Europe. Okay, so you can freely move. Once you get the CE mark, you can sell your product to all whole Europe, that means about 29 to 30 countries. The CE marking on a product permits the withdrawal of the non-conforming products by customs and enforcement vigilance authorities. So let us see what are the general principles of the CE marking. So the affixing to a product of marking, sign or inscriptions which are likely to mislead third parties regarding the meaning or form of the CE marking shall be prohibited. Any other marking may be affixed to the product provided that the visibility, legibility and meaning of the CE marking is not thereby impaired. Then member states shall ensure the correct implementation of the regime governing the CE marking and take appropriate action in the event of improper use of the marking. Member states shall also provide for penalties for infringement, which may include criminal sanction for serious infringements. Those penalties shall be proportionate to the seriousness of the offense and constitute an effective deterrent against improper use. So, you don't have chance to copy that C mark and the number. C mark means the number is also given to along with the CE mark certificate. So once you get the CE mark or the certificate, that number will be used on a particular product. Suppose if you are using a medical device with so many components, so each component has to be submitted with a separate application. I will give a simple example of PPE kit. Say for example, I want to take my PPE kit to Europe market and I want to get it CE mark. So PPE kit comprises of what? Face shield, the nose mask, the body cover, then hand gloves, then shoe cover. Suppose there are five components which comprises of PPE kit. So whole kit I cannot make a one single application for the full kit. So we have to separately take CE mark and separately because it acts as a separate device and we have to pay the separate fees for each individual component which makes one medical device, one kit. Similarly, there are so many rapid device kit, and you go to suppose in blood testing laboratory, you must have seen there are a couple of tests, thyroid test, then urine test, calcium test, how the samples are withdrawn and separated for different tests. So different reagent, different biomedical reagents have been used. So like that, you have to take and you have to meet the compliance requirement for each component, each ingredient, and you go for the approval. Though it is used for one single test. Then CE marking shall be affixed only by the manufacturer or his authorized representative. The CE marking shall be affixed only to products to which its affixing is provided by specific community harmonization legislation and shall not be affixed to any other product. As I told you, if there are several components, it should be affixed only to the product to which its affixing is provided for the specific community harmonization legislation. Then by affixing or having affixed the CE marking, the manufacturer indicates that he takes responsibility for the conformity of the product with all applicable requirements set out in the relevant community harmonization legislation providing for its affixing. The CE marking shall be the only marking which attests the conformity of the product with the applicable requirement of the relevant community harmonization legislation providing for its affixing. Then let us understand about the competent authority. What is meant by competent authority? What is meant by notified body? So each country has their one competent authority. Like in India, we have DCGI, CDSCO. Like in Europe, each country within the Europe and partner countries has a competent authority. The competent authority is a body within the government of the member state that transposes the requirement of the medical device directives into national law. So the competent authority is also responsible for specifying one or more notified bodies to act as an independent third party assessors of the manufacturer's compliance. Now, the competent authority in UK is the UK MHRA. I will give a simple example of India. Now, in India, we have a main competent body is DCGI, our central body, but there are state level bodies, right? So we call it as local FDA. In Maharashtra, we have state FDA. In Gujarat, it's Gujarat state FDA. In Karnataka, in Telangana, like that, in Europe also, UK MHRA is the main competent body, but there are several other notified bodies available in each other country, because Europe comprises of 29 to 30 countries. Like this, we also have 29 districts in India also, if you see. So we have to remember there is always a one competent authority, that is called CA, for each country. But there could be number of notified bodies which can be representative of each country. Okay, each small country. In India, it is called district. So notified body, the competent authority. I hope you understood the definition. Now talks about notified body. The role of a notified body is to conduct a conformity assessment under the relevant EU directives. The notified body conducts the conformity assessment against the relevant sections of the applicable directive, that is MDD or IMED or IVDD. We will see the full forms also. Okay, the conformity assessment. Now I want to tell your MDD has changed to MDR now, because this is old directive. So from 2017 MDD had changed to MDR, and the implementation time is going on. Or they had given 3 years, but now one more year is extended due to COVID. We will speak about it in the next session when we talk about European system separately. So the conformity assessment usually involves an audit of the manufacturer's quality systems, and depending upon the particular classification of the device, a review of the relevant technical documentation provided by the manufacturer in support of the safety and performance claims for the device. So the technical documentation is assessed against the essential requirements set out within the EU directives and considers the relevant guidance set out by the Europe. So once the notified body has determined a manufacturer has conformed to the relevant assessment criteria, it issues a CE certificate to show that products assessed meet the requirement. And the clinicians and the other healthcare professional in any EU country. So notified body is what? What is the role of notified body? Is to conduct the conformity assessment, correct? And they provide the report. They give the CE certificate, and which will again, produce to your main competent authority. So the manufacturer signs a declaration of conformity and applies the CE mark with or without the notified body number. So manufacturers are free to choose a suitable notified body, ensuring that they are qualified and experienced with the product to be certified. So there are over EU notified bodies in total that can certify to the medical devices directives. However, not all the notified bodies can certify to all categories of medical device products holding a CE mark from any of the 70 plus notified bodies can be marketed to patients and farmers. So we will see in the next lecture that how the European medical devices approval process is, because MDD has this MDD 9385 ECC had changed to MDR now 745. So we have to stick to now new MDR, and which is already under implementation. So this is the MDD is the old process. So I will skip this old process because there is no point in discussion of this old process. So in the next lecture, I will take full European procedure and the other part of the medical devices. So this was the overview of Europe and US medical devices and how the CE marking is done. What is the meaning of competent authority? What is the meaning of notified body? Okay, let us now discuss about TGA Australia. So again, TGA Australia and Europe, if you have seen, the category is more or less similar. The non-sterile, that is class 1, right? The sterile class 1, then again class 2A, 2B and class 3. So if you see the risk wise how they have classified, class 1 non-sterile is a low risk, Class 1 sterile, it's a medium risk. Then class 2A, again medium risk. Class 2B, it is high risk. Class 3, highest risk. So how the Australian TGA medical device approval takes place? First step is determine classification using Schedule 2 of the Australian Therapeutic Goods, that is TGA under medical device regulation. And if a device has a European CE marking, the classification will likely be the same. So here I would like to say, once you have entered into Europe, and if you get the CE mark, you can sell your product worldwide. So that route becomes very easy for you to enter into Australia and most of the other countries as well. That is why people are behind getting CE mark. Once they develop or design a product, start manufacturing, everybody is behind, quality management certification, that is 13485, and getting CE mark. So here you can see the classification will likely be the same. When if you have the CE mark, European CE mark, you can easily enter into TGA. So a CE marking certificate from a notified body is generally accepted by the TGA as part of your registration. So if you have no local presence in Australia, then appoint an Australian sponsor. Then the sponsor facilitates your device registration, acts as a liaison between the manufacturer and the TGA, and the sponsor's name and must appear on your device at the labeling. So how we go for USFD also? In USFD also we appoint our US agent. If you don't have your own office, if you have your own presence there, if you have your own office registered at the US address, then there is no point in registration. So your employees who are residing in USA and having the US address can act as a US agent. So there is no need to appoint a separate US agent. So similarly in TGA also, if you want to enter into Australia, you have to appoint one sponsor in TGA Australia, and you can proceed further. So have current technical file or the design dossier, for example class 3, and declaration of conformity ready for submission. Then for all devices except class 1 non-sterile, non-measuring, sponsor submits manufacturer's evidence, that is CE marking certificate, in EBS system for TGA's review and acceptance. So they have electronic system for the submission. How we submit the eCTD in USFDA or Europe or Canada or Japan. Like that, they have EBS system in TGA. Then class 3 devices will undergo level 2 application audit, and the design dossier is reviewed by the authority. Then for all classes, the Australian sponsor submits medical device application online in EBS system. The application should include intended purpose statement, classification and GMDM code, pay application fees. Then the TGA will approve or reject your application. If approved by the TGA, an Australian, that is ARTG, listing number will be issued. Then ARTG certificate inclusion and your listing will be included in the ARTG database on the TGA website. What does it mean? The TGA will approve or reject your application, right? If approved, we get the ARTG. If it is not approved, then it will not be listed. Once you will get the ARTG, it will be you will get the number and your product will be listed on their website. So you may now begin marketing your device in Australia. Registration do not expire as long as you do not make the changes to the device that would invalidate the ARTG listing. Current CE marking certificate, if applicable, is on file with the TGA, and the annual ARTG listing fees is paid. So we will stop a little while. Okay, so let us continue with the Health Canada. So Health Canada again, the classification is based on low risk to highest risk. So Health Canada, you will see the difference. Only in Canada, you will see there is a class 4 devices. So that is the difference between US, Europe, then we have seen the TG also. But here you can see class 1, 2, 3 and 4. Whereas we have not seen class 4 in previous countries like US, Europe and TGA. So please remember that here only Health Canada has the classification as class 1, 2, 3, 4. So how do we take the marketing approval in Canada? The step 1 is to determine the classification of your medical device according to Schedule 1 of the Canadian Medical Device Regulation, which is called CMDR. The devices fall into class 1, class 2, class 3 and class 4. We have seen. For all devices except class 1, implement ISO 13485-203 quality management system. That includes the additional specific requirements of the CMDR and standard ISO 13485. Always use the standards of current years. Okay, 13485 2016 is going on. So this is the ISO standard which we have to use everywhere, and which is very strict standards in the pharmaceutical, in the medical device industry, and it is a mandatory requirement for all manufacturers to go for. Even in India, they ask for the ISO certification 13485 2016. So it is often used by the company selling in European market, does not meet Canadian requirements. Okay. So for all updates to the existing procedures or the new procedures must be implemented. So for all devices except class 1 ISO 13485 quality system re-audited by the registrar accredited by Health Canada under the Canadian Medical Device Conformity Assessment, that is CMDCAS. Several large European notified bodies also act as the Canadian registrars. So, your new ISO certificate will be issued upon successful completion of the audit. Then, for Class 1 device, apply for a medical device establishment license, that is MDEL. For Class 2 and 3 and 4 devices, apply a Canadian medical device license, that is MDL. So MDEL is what? Medical Device Establishment License, and MDL is a Canadian Medical Device License. So these are the two applications for different classes of medical device. Then apply for this device. Then compared to US 510K application, MDL applications are simpler for class 2 device and about the same for class 3 device. So class 4 MDL applications are comparable to the US PMA application, pre-market application. So note that an MDL application is for the device itself, whereas an MDEL is a permit for the distributor and importer or the manufacturer of class 1 device. So very simple, the MDL is used for the lower class of devices, and it shows that once you get the MDL, you are ready to, it is a sort of permit through which you can distribute or import your medical device. And MDL is what? It is as good as a US patent K application. Then for class 1 device, submit MDL application, prepare mandatory procedure and pay Health Canada fees for class 2 device, Health Canada fees and go ahead. For class 2, submit MDL application, IFU is a intent for use. The label is very important. The intended purposes has to be mentioned. Then declaration of conformity and ISO 13485 certificate. Pay Health Canada fees for class 3, 4 devices. Submit MDL application plus declaration of conformity, ISO certificate, IFU and pre-market review document following the STAD format, that is summary of technical documentation, which may include clinical data. Clinical data collected outside Canada is generally accepted. Then pay Health Canada fees and go ahead. Then for class 4 device, Health Canada will review your MDL application and pre-market review document. So class 4 is exactly is what pre-market review, pre-market application. Here we have mentioned class 4 MDL application are comparable to US PMA application. So more or less, if you see Canada follows US FDA type of procedure for the class 3 and class 4. That is 510K and PMA. Then once the approved application will be posted, once you get the approval, the approved application will be posted on Health Canada website. Then you are now allowed to sell your medical device in Canada. Licenses do not expire, but you must pay annual fee to the Health Canada. Failure to pay fees will result in your approval license being revoked. Now we'll see how the Japanese people have classified their devices. So here also you see class 1, class 2, 2 again divided into two types, that is specified control and control. So class 1 is general classification, which is of low risk. Class 2 divided into two categories, that is specified control and controlled, which is of medium risk. Class 3 is highly controlled, that is higher risk. And class 4 again highly controlled and which comes under highest risk. So how the Japanese medical device approval process is? First step is determine classification of your device according to Japanese Pharmaceutical and Medical Device Act, which is also called PMDA, and Japanese Medical Device Nomenclature, that is JMDN codes. Devices are segmented into general class 1 medical devices, specified controlled class 2 medical devices, controlled class 2 medical devices highly, that is highly, the class 3 medical devices for highly controlled class 4 medical devices. So we have seen in the previous slide, so you have to categorize, you have to classify your own device as per this Japanese PMDA Act and GMDN codes, under which category you are falling, whether it is class 1, 2, 3 or 4. Then appoint marketing authorization holder, that is MAH, to manage your device approval process in Japan. Of course, Japan is the most difficult Japanese language, or China. Whenever you go into China, so it's very difficult. There is always a language barrier. So you have to appoint a Japanese agent, what we call it as Japanese appoint marketing authorization holder in Japan to manage your device approval process. So your MAH or DMAH will control your device registration. And then manufacturers must register their facility. So every